Yo, 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 Big Catch back up in here, man. Rapaholics is back, y'all. It's time to be honest about J. Cole, is the topic of discussion. And we about to go over this, y'all. Yeah, I'm gonna leave a link in the description. Y'all know I like holding y'all. Without further ado, let's get it.
Lawbreeze and Gentlegrams, in today's episode of Jermaine in Gentleland, while the culturally cosplaying
Jermaine and Gentleland.
Canadian counterfeit Phony Montana got clobbered by Kung Fu Kenny, Pusha T, and Rihanna, the belligerent BBL balding bearded buffoon's buddy in the Big Three, Jermaine justifiably jetted and jumped out of the juggernaut joust by saying sorry to the sharp sniping short-statured assassin for ever scheming to strike.
Dad, the short-statured assassin. Saying sorry to the sniper. Hold on. No, saying sorry to the short-statured assassin. Wow.
Or even thinking of getting on the mic and trying to attack him, and while his apology garnered a rage-fueled reaction, it left the fans asking, will this leave J. Cole's career to crumble like scattered ashes, or with a clear comeback, can Cole cool the chaos and conciliate his core fan base with compassion? And these are the questions we will be attacking. Because after apologizing and alienating Aubrey as the only opponent of the maniacal orthopedic feet whooper, J. Cole
Alienating Aubrey as the wow, that's dope. That is fire.
Found himself in the toughest position he had ever been in throughout his entire career. The always positive, non-confrontational, calm, cool, and collected Cole had now found himself in a little bit of a kerfuffle where he reacted to a warning shot with unprecedented confrontation, criticizing the catalog of his peer within the self-proclaimed Big Three, and talked down on conceptual cultural masterpieces like To Pimp a Butterfly, or boundary-pushing vulnerable pieces of art like Mr. Morale, in order to prop himself up as the one who had truly bared the torch, the one who could truly warrant saying F the Big Three, it's just Big Me. And with this newfound hunger and competitive spirit that has been bubbling up inside Cole's music for the last 4 or 5 years, it seemed apparent that he was truly ready to step up to the plate. And what you may not remember throughout this battle is at one point, it seemed like Cole was more ready to compete than both Drake and Kendrick. Kendrick set out that warning shot, but Cole was the first one with a full-fledged diss track on wax. Drake was still silent, but before his ghostwriters could even concoct a response, Cole was already on the biggest stage of his career at the Dreamville Festival in front of over 50,000 people, apologizing to Kendrick, claiming that his diss record wasn't aligned with his true path and he hadn't been sleeping right, knowing the energy that he put in it.
How many people think Kendrick Lamar is one of the greatest to ever touch microphone? Dreamville, y'all love Kendrick Lamar, correct? As do I. So I just want to come up here and be like, that was the lamest, goofiest shit. And it made me feel like 10 years ago when I was moving incorrectly. And I pray that God aligned me back up on my purpose and on my path. You know what I mean? I pray that Kendrick really didn't feel no way. And if he did, my chin out. Take your best shot. I'm going to take that in the chin. Boy, do what you do. It's love. I pray that y'all are like, forgive the misstep and then I can get back to my true path. Because I ain't going to lie to y'all. The past 2 days felt terrible. It let me know how good I've been sleeping for the past 10 years.
To most, this was a shame.
Damn. I feel that, bro. I know everybody, I know damn near everybody coming at Cole for that. I understand it, man. I understand it. Just I don't know. Just it's something about peace, bro. It feels so good. Peace feels wonderful. I understand it, man. For real.
Shameful move, disrespecting the competitive essence of hip-hop, the very same genre that both him and Kendrick studied together early on in their careers. But others, and don't kill me now, including myself, deemed this as not only a respectable sign of humanity, but also of authenticity, remaining consistent to the Cole that we heard on every project before 2018. And pay attention to that date because it's going to play an important role in this video later on. And it showed that J. Cole was willing to suffer.
It still makes him original. It makes him original because that's something that nobody's doing. Imagine a Lil Durk did that. Imagine a King Von did that. Imagine if a NBA Youngboy did that. You know what I'm saying? I was watching Wilder the other day. He said brothers deal with ego. That's the number one destroyer of black men. So just imagine if we had that spirit amongst all black men. I choose peace over all of this. What would we be? Now I know the hip hop us is like, nah, you. But let's just think. Let's just put our thinking caps on. Imagine if that spirit was on all the brothers in every hood in the U.S. or across the world. How would it be? Like, you know what I'm saying? If everybody choose peace over violence. You know what I mean? What did I say? I choose violence. But yeah, I mean, it's just beautiful knowing that it's people out here that choose peace, and you know, he's sleeping good. He got his career. Look at Drake's career. That joint is spiraling, man. I would rather take an apology on my jacket than my career spiraling, man.
For the blow in order to control his own narrative and define what his greatness truly meant to him. It didn't stem from competitive rivalry, who could brutally bear the burden of the biggest and most brash bars. It was about staying true to who he was, telling his story in the most authentic way possible, and inspiring his fan base to maintain that same creative freedom. And this would all be great, but you gotta remember how Cole was talking since 2018. We're gonna break down the entire evolution of J. Cole the artist.
And that's people's problem. The problem that people got with Cole is that he be running his mouth. Yeah, better not nobody step to me. I dismiss him, dismantle him, chop his throat off. Then when somebody come at him, he like, nah, I'm good. Oh man, yeah, he the one that run in the house when it's time to go do something. Yo, let me out the car, man. Let me out the car.
And his constant battle with gaining not only acceptance within the culture, but also solidifying his spot as the greatest within it, while simultaneously not stepping out of his comfort zone or his moral boundaries. But for a while, it felt like Cole transitioned from that humble college kid just trying to find peace in the world and navigate stardom after going from dorm rooms to diamond albums. It seemed by 2018, he grew comfortable in his own shoes, no longer seeking validation, no longer expressing that confusion that we heard from him earlier on in his career. At this point, at every chance he could get, Cole was letting the world know he was the greatest. He was in his peak form. Though with Cole playing his cards the way he played them throughout this battle, to a lot of people it kind of removed him from that conversation, right? How are you going to say you're the greatest, but when someone debates it, you tie up your laces and run away from the races? Cole just released a song the other day. It's called Clouds. It's great.
Ooh. How you gonna say you the greatest when you tie up your laces and run from the races? Damn.
We're going to break the whole thing down, along with how Cole got himself to this position, but justifiably, a lot of the bars on this record piss some people off, especially when he's rapping. Bars like, the second you turn that keyhole, then heat blows, your weak flows out the water. I work smarter and harder, my style got a restraining order, don't bother. I charter unseen territories in order to push it farther than you guys ever thought of. I caught a lot of murder charges, turn artists to martyrs. How you gonna rap? The planet will shake when I'm performing tectonic plates from a place where tech's on their waist, so stay safe or get left with chest on your face as death.
That's clouds. That's clouds. That's clouds right there. Ah, man, I'm rocking with that record right there, bro. I'm rocking with that.
Waits for your last of breath. I'm a pass the test. Yes, I'm a master chef. He's talking about all this happening when he's on stage, but the last time he was on a stage, he told the whole crowd that the first real competitive threat he was faced with left him sleepless and more confused than he was 10 years ago, and he had to retract himself from this battle. So is this hypocrisy, delusion, or is this greatness that Cole speaks of himself as still truly justified? Well, let's break it down to a T, but first, Lawbreeze and Gentlegrams, I got tons of great messages from you guys that this helped you out massively, so I want to put the rest of you on to something that almost seems too good to be true. All right, let me give you a little glimpse into my life. When I'm not making this content for you guys, I have a disgusting addiction to my phone. My daily screen time is higher than Drake on that album cover, higher than Snoop off the edibles. So if you guys suffer that same addiction as me, I want to put you on to something that's going to change your life. It's not just the fans that have...
Yeah, I scan that link if you're interested to the right here. Free cash.
$50 just to play a game on your phone. But yeah, it's not just the fans that have been grilling Cole, it's the rappers too. After this new song he dropped, Freddie Gibbs got on Instagram and said people be rapping about how they kill rappers and they kill their careers and blah blah blah, but be backing out of rap beefs. Joey Badman, who has been getting attacked by the entire West Coast.
I don't know if Freddie Gibbs could talk. Wasn't Freddie Gibbs getting beat up and stuff? I'd rather be known as the guy who apologized and be the guy known for getting beat up. Oh, I thought that was Freddie Gibbs.
Beefs. Joey Badman, who has been getting attacked by the entire West Coast, deflected the energy onto J. Cole, the easiest of targets, paying homage to his ironically titled 2024 release, Might Delete Later, rapping, might delete later, but Joey won't. But I do think if Drake taught us anything, it's that no matter how bad you get destroyed in a rap beef, you can still make a comeback on the charts. But if there's one thing Kendrick taught us, like he rapped on the Super Bowl, they tried to rig the game, but you can't fake influence. You can't fake how the people will view your legacy when this is all said and done, and that's a battle Cole has always seemed to suffer. He's always tried to be a people pleaser while simultaneously doing his best to stay true to himself. That's where that apology stemmed from. That's why
that's the same thing Jalopy was saying, that I believe Cole got something internal going on with that people pleasing thing.
In a way, part of me respected it, part of me definitely didn't, but I said one thing, and let me know in the comments if you guys feel the same, in that Cole can no longer try to make us believe that he's this big bad boogeyman, that he's the top of the food chain, cream of the crop, will destroy any rapper, neck on the noose as he put it. He's always valued authenticity. None of those bars going forward seem authentic. But Cole has...
I never looked at Cole as some big bad boogeyman though, like, so if that's the image that he's portraying, that never did work with me. If it worked with you, that's probably why everybody's upset with Cole, because they let that big bad boogeyman thing get to him. I always looked at Cole as like down to earth. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I never looked at him as I can't see him riding on nobody or getting locked up for something. I can't see that in Cole. I see Cole, he's the guy with the candles, sitting Indian style in the teepee. Welcome. He's the shaman, you know what I mean? Yeah, he's the shaman. Welcome to my lair. Have you some tea, brother? You know what I'm saying? I don't look at Cole as I'm going to cock back, hit him up. Yeah, that shit go through one end out the other when you start talking like that. Good.
Had this crossroads for a while now, right? Let's take it way back to 2010, a simpler time, the beginning of the blog era. You had these juggernauts within hip-hop, the former big three, or I should say big four. Lil Wayne, who had just signed his proteges Drake and Nicki Minaj to Young Money. You had Kanye West, who had signed a Hungry Big Sean to Good Music. You had Rick Ross at the top of his game, starting Maybach Music, signing artists like Meek Mill, who was crashing mixtape sites like DatPiff and giving us classics like the Dreams and Nightmares intro, or Wale, who gave us these critically acclaimed conscious projects, balancing the introspection with the hits. And all of these guys had mainstream careers that took off a good year or two before Jay-Z's newest protege, J. Cole, could find his footing in this new era, cultivate a large enough fan base to get the green light from Roc Nation to kickstart his career and drop his major label debut. And on a side note, I see all you guys in the comments asking why I say debut as debut. I want to chalk it up to me simply being Canadian, but I think it's more so the fact that I'm simply cooked. I don't know. But anyways, this debut that Cole was about to release, he had very high hopes for from the beginning. He always wanted to be the greatest. How he talks today is how...
It's a T on debut, but I think it's silent. So when he read it, he's like, yeah, debut.
He always envisioned himself way back in the beginning of the 2010s. He wanted his first album to be that unanimous classic. His own version of The College Dropout, which he spent many of his college years studying, or his own Reasonable Doubt, like his mentor, or an Illmatic, something in that vein. And he just saw his greatest competitor at the time, Drake, drop what many would consider to be Drake's own classic project with So Far Gone. And Drake really changed the mixtape game with that project. That was, I think, the first mixtape to ever actually go gold, hit the top of the charts, generate multiple several top 10 hits. This was unheard of not only for a mixtape, but also for a freshman. And Cole was always pinned up against Drake. That was the highest standard of what Cole could strive to be at that point in time. Creating projects that were well respected amongst the culture, pushing boundaries, leaving an impact and influence on the game, but most importantly to J. Cole's mentor Jay-Z, bringing the hits. See, this wasn't the streaming era, right? In order to get a major label album release, you needed songs on the radio. You needed a buzz that was quantifiable for the executives to think it was worth the investment in printing thousands of copies of your album and shipping them out to a bunch of retail stores. Labels didn't understand the internet. They didn't understand you can cultivate your own core fan base through the blogs, through the DatPiffs, or at least they...
Look at him. That's what I respect. Y'all see how he's reading and rapping? I respect. I know he write his own stuff, man. I know he write his own stuff, bro. I could just tell. I could tell he write his own stuff.
They didn't know that audience could translate into real album sales. And nowadays, while it might cost nothing to press a button and have your project all across different streaming platforms, back then, it costed money for these labels to, make copies of your albums, ship them out to these stores, promote you on the radio, promote you on these TV programs. I say all that to say, Jay-Z being the businessman that he is and signing J. Cole, yes, he signed him because he saw the potential in him as an artist, but for Jay-Z to see a return on his investment, the traditional way back then was, get a hit song, put it all over radio, people will discover you through that, it'll build your buzz, which will then make it worth it for us to actually drop your album in stores. And Cole struggled with that because, again, he wasn't fixated on the hits, he was fixated on having that unanimous classic debut album. He wanted to remain authentic to himself. And with the really...
He made sure he pronounced every letter that time. Debut.
Strong efforts he brought forth with projects like Friday Night Lights or The Warm-Up, people had pinned him and Drake as the next two runner-ups to be the leaders of the new school. People were always gassing Cole up in interviews, comparing him to Drake.
I think Drake is a talented dude, but I feel like he's overrated. Why do you think his buzz is so big, yet cats like you, who I feel are like more talented than him, still ain't got that shine yet?
I can't co-sign none of that, but it's just how things happen.
You see how he do? He always downplay any props that he getting. Anybody that's showing him recognition, he downplay it. No, I don't want to take that. No, I don't want to take that. I can't co-sign that. You're gonna have to start standing on stuff, man. You can't. Everybody think you soft,
Man, his stars lined up. It was supposed to happen like that for him. Fans shouldn't get mad at that. Like, this was destined for him. Like, my buzz isn't that big because it's not supposed to be that big. I'm not supposed to come in the game like that. That's not my path.
And Jay-Z himself.
Ooh. That's how you cook. Imagine every brother in the world thought like that. It's not my turn. It's his turn. That's how the universe is like. That's not... The way he get rich is not the way that I get rich. The time he gets rich is not my same time I get rich. I'm going to have my day. My day hasn't came yet. Imagine if every brother thought like that. Where would the hate be? Where would the deletion of each other be? Like the prison systems wouldn't be filled. Ain't nobody going to be hating on nobody. Oh, you shining today. Okay, all right. It's just not my turn yet. You ain't gonna have nobody like, nah, oh, he's shining. He trying to pull up on me and trying to shine. Oh yeah, I got something for him. Yeah. So I respect that. For real.
Used Drake as a benchmark for where he wanted Cole to be. He wanted Cole to release these phenomenal projects, but simultaneously have the hits to back up the catalog. Drake's mentor Wayne was saying, we're gonna be alright if we put Drake on every hook. What could Jay-Z say about J. Cole? Well, he did say something to Drake in front of J. Cole at an after party for the All-Star Weekend when Cole and Drake were chopping it up, and Jay came to both of them, looked at Drake and said, can you give the boy a hit? And I can't imagine how embarrassing this was for Cole, right? And he expressed this in his audio series, which we'll touch on shortly in this video. But yeah, in that audio series where he details his come up, he talks about how this was a pivotal moment in his career. He wanted to prove to Jay, to prove to the world that he could, make this big splash, big entrance to the game with a classic debut album. He's producing all of his records. Jay's telling him that maybe his production skills aren't up to par to deliver the type of quality hits that he needs to progress his career. Meanwhile, all his peers are lapping him, Wiz Khalifa
Oh, J. Cole was producing his own record. Wow. Okay, I see what you're saying. Cole is talented. You can make beats and rap on them. Talented.
Khalifa, without a major label album, has a #1 song on the Billboard charts with Black and Yellow. Big Sean just released his first album, had multiple hits on that. Wale was kind of finding his footing, but he also had hits before Cole did. Drake was already pretty much Drake, so that just left J. Cole to still kind of prove to the world who he was. So how do you think the guy felt when his not only boss, not only mentor, but an artist who he looked up to, who he wanted to frame his career after, having his own reasonable doubt, Jay-Z, is reasonably doubting Cole's skills as not an MC necessarily, but as a superstar or having the potential to be a superstar, and as a result is shamingly asking who Cole considers to be a peer in Drake to toss Cole a sympathy hit the way you might toss your dog some scraps off the dinner table as they beg for food. It wasn't a good look, and it was the...
So yeah, if Cole is making his beats and everybody else is purchasing them, it's kind of like that jack of all trades thing. You know what I'm saying? You're jack of all trades and master of none. But, you know, you got these guys over here focus on whatever they focus on. Cole focus on making the beats and rapping. It's gonna take some time. It's gonna take some time because he's competing with people who just make beats. That's all they do.
Start to a long pattern of Cole feeling like he needed to prove his greatness to the people around him and above him. But this only truly worked in Cole's favor when he created in a space or through a lens that felt authentic to him. Jay-Z tried to link him up with all these pop producers or the producers of Wiz Khalifa's hit Black and Yellow. All that did was leave J. Cole more uninspired, more insecure in his own talents, and it left him with a collection of tacky tracks that screamed, "Play this on 2010s radio stations." And Cole explains on his audio series that looking back, it wasn't until he was out of those big Hollywood studios with those pop producers by himself listening to an album that started most of this journey with The College Dropout. He heard a sample on that new workout plan, flipped it, and that gave Cole his first hit, Workout. And even that wasn't enough to win Jay-Z over initially, as he later admitted to Cole that he didn't have much faith in the record, but it was enough to get Cole by.
Hell with Jay-Z. Jay-Z thinking about his damn pockets. Do Jay-Z make the beats? You gotta respect that talent, man.
Get him on the radio and get that first album release date. When that came around, the label told him that he was only expected to sell around 60 to 70,000 copies in the first week, which would have been a lot lower than his peers. He ended up far exceeding that, selling over 220,000 copies in the first week with his first album. My point is, Cole has often played the underdog in many situations, often tried to please everybody, please the whole crowd, but it was really only staying authentic to himself that won his fans over and got him to that next level. We'd see those people-pleasing tendencies re-emerge on his second album as he devoted an entire song to apologizing to another one of his mentors, Nas, for quote-unquote letting him down by compromising his sound and producing a radio-tailored hit like Workout. And think about the dichotomy of that, right? He's trying to people please Nas for people pleasing Jay-Z. And he would kind of struggle with this balance of chasing greatness through what felt authentic to him while also trying to battle, mainstream industry standards. His debut album wasn't the classic that he hoped for. Less than a year later, Kendrick Lamar, someone who blew up long after Cole, did everything Cole had hoped to do, dropping a debut album with the cultural impact, the critical acclaim, and the hits that Cole wanted, all while refusing to compromise his sound. Don't Kill My Vibe, Backseat Freestyle, Swimming Pools, these were...
That is patient, man. That is patient. I see they Cole and Drake playing chess. That was playing chess for real. Yeah, I look at that video, The Art of Delayed Gratification, man. Powerful, powerful.
were all well-performing songs on radio, but they weren't made for radio. There was a deeper message behind them. They all fit the narrative of Good Kid, Mad City. And he didn't have to apologize to Nas for anything that he did. And I think it took Kendrick's come up for Cole to see that, again, if you want to play the game properly, you can't fake influence. You got to do what comes natural to you. So he went back to the basics. He went back to doing what he did earlier on in his career where there was no pressure from the label. He was able to cook up what he felt like making, projects like Friday Night Lights. He went back to creating in a similar atmosphere and headspace. He removed himself from social media. He started visiting comedy clubs, meditating, being out in nature more, ditching the Hollywood studios, producing all of his own records, no features, doing what felt organic to him. And when it came to his third album, which many consider to be Cole's classic, 2014 Forest Hills Drive, he refused to go into that with any radio hits. That album was released without any major single. And he showed and proved that when he played to his strengths, he saw the best results. That was his most successful album, his most impactful album, his most critically acclaimed album. And so that's what I kind of meant in terms of the part of me that somewhat respected his decision to back out of the beef, right? It wasn't something that was authentic to him. He was creating from a headspace of, okay, I need to please the crowd. I need to please the audience that is thirsty for a response from me. It was the 2024 version of Cole compromising his sound to please Jay-Z and the labels and get that radio hit. This time around, he was trying to please the world by responding to an attack against his credibility, against his greatness. But anyways, in the meantime, between 2024 and the beef and 2014 Forest Hills Drive, there's a reason why when Cole did make that apology, he said he felt like engaging in that beef brought him back to how he felt 10 years ago, to where he wasn't moving on a path that felt right to him. 2014 was where he found that footing. And while he didn't feel, confident enough to go at Kendrick and attack anything Kendrick stood for, anything from Kendrick's catalog or his legacy, along the way between 2014 and 2024, there were several instances of Cole sticking his chest out, standing up for what he believed in, and kind of attacking some of his peers along the way. In 2016, leading up to Cole's first concept album with For Your Eyes Only, he dropped 2 songs, False Prophets and Everybody Dies. And while his bars today about killing your favorite rapper are quite vague, they were quite specific here. On Everybody Dies, he had Smoke for Everyone, saying, clap at the fake deep rappers, the OG gatekeep rappers, the would you take a break please rappers, bunch of words ain't saying nothing.
Oh, damn, I didn't know he said all that. Damn. He said he clapping at people. Oh, so this is the problem everybody got. Oh, Cole. At the end of every song you do like that, you need to put, how remember we used to play hide and seek when we were little, and if you the younger one, it'd be like, yeah, he just playing for fun. That's my little brother. He just playing for fun. You need to put playing for fun on every last track, or at the end of every track that you do. You talking about you clapping somebody up. You need to put, I'm just rapping for fun. You know what I'm saying?
And I hate these rappers, especially the amateur 8-week rappers, Lil Whatever, just another short bus rapper, fake drug dealer turned tour bus rappers, Napoleon Complex, you this tall rappers, get exposed standing next to this 6'4" rapper, the streets.
Oh, so he talking about Dot. He gotta be talking about Dot. What song is that?
Don't F with you, you pitchfork rappers, chosen by the white man, you hit store rappers. And here he's going at the critics like Pitchfork, who Cole would later reveal never truly embraced him, like a Kendrick, like a Big Crit, like a Joey Badass. Here he's emphasizing he's no longer chasing that validation. Also going after the new wave at the time of these SoundCloud rappers, who rapped about dealing and using drugs, covered their face in tattoos, had colorful dreads. As he put them, the amateur 8-week rappers. He went from, apologizing to the OGs to now talking about clapping at the OG gatekeep rappers. The smoke for those OG rappers got even more intense on his subsequent release, False Prophets, specifically taking aim at Kanye and the downward trajectory he was headed on at the time, rapping a lot of what would come to age very well, especially in 2025, with bars like ego in charge of every move, he's a star and we can't look away due to the days that he caught our hearts, he's falling apart but we deny it, justifying the half-baked stuff he drops, we always buy it, when he tells us he's a genius but it's clear lately, it's been hard for him to look up in the mirror lately. There was a
She looked like she don't want to do no work. She just got that look on her face like, oh man, we got to go do what? Oh my God, I just want to lay in the bed and spend your money. I don't want to do any work. That's what she looked like.
was a time when that guy was my hero, maybe. That's why his fall from grace is hard to take, because I believed him when he said his stuff was pure and the type of guy who swears he's real, but everyone around him's fake. The women, the D-writers, you know, the yes men. Again, I say all this to emphasize it seemed like Cole had a really good grasp on the direction he wanted to take his career. He was fully playing to his strengths, embracing who he was, not compromising for anyone, even exposing the darker side of the industry that once had him, you know, compromising and confused and lacking confidence. At this point, he's more confident than ever and has this clarity where he isn't only giving us perspective into his growth as an artist and a human, but also painting a very clear picture of the pitfalls that this industry can have or has had on some of his former idols. He's not looking to them for the acknowledgement or the approval anymore. Instead, he's the one giving them clarity and advice. He did the same to his peer Wale on the next verse of this record, or 2 years later on his song 1985.
Oh, I wonder whatever happened to Wale. What is he doing? Is he still shook off of what P. Diddy did to him?
When he, again, clearly prophesizes the downfall of a rapper like Lil Pump's career, advising him to save up his money and invest in assets instead of, you know, jewelry, cars, etc., emphasizing the importance of artistry over trolling, because all that trolling will just lead to your album flopping and you inevitably having to resort to doing reality shows like Love and Hip Hop. Even on his 2018 collab with 21 Savage, Cole predicted a lot of issues we'd see going on today, rapping bars like, how many faking their streams, getting their plays from machines. I could see behind the smoke and mirrors. People ain't really real as they seem. Some of them are making millions, others are making memes. So yeah, it seemed like when Cole stopped the people pleasing, stopped trying to...
Some of them making millions. Damn hard as it seems. Some of them making millions. And damn, some of them making memes.
Conform to industry standards, that's when he started moving with this sense of clarity, this sense of confidence that really took him to this next level in 2018 especially. That's when he settled into this more mature role within the culture. He was more respected than ever. He went on this insane feature run for like damn near 5 years, from 2018 to 2023. In my opinion, easily top 5 greatest feature runs we've ever seen in hip-hop, possibly second to Lil Wayne. Let me know in the comments who you guys think have had the greatest feature run in hip-hop. And, you know, all the while, the two guys he's running up against who inspired him in many different ways early on in his career, with Drake emphasizing to him the importance of commercial impact, and Kendrick, who came after him, emphasizing the importance of cultural impact, integrity, authenticity, and refusal of compromising your sound. Then you get to, you know, the new decade, 2020s, and this is where that big three conversation gets amplified. You had Drake selling the most records, you had Kendrick putting out the most innovative, groundbreaking bodies of work, and then you got J. Cole, who...
Hey, look, I'm gonna go ahead and encourage y'all to go watch this on your own. I'm gonna leave a link in the description, but he's going to continue to keep cooking. Y'all know how Rapaholics give it up. Shout out to Rapaholics. Y'all make sure y'all sub, y'all like, show y'all support. But yeah, I'm going to leave a link in the description for y'all to check it out on your own. And yeah, Big Kish signing out. I'm gone. Y'all let me know what y'all think, man.